We will now take a look at listing a product range to eBay. Following the previous course on listings, we will click here on Selling and then select eBay from the Sales Channel list. We'll then search for a product range or open a category for the range we wish to add. Toggle to the excluded list and click Create Range Listing on the range we wish to list. We can now set the price and pseudo stock for the listing as per the previous course and then click Save. This will then load the listing editor for eBay. If you're using Google Chrome, you may need to allow pop-ups for Cloud Commerce Pro for this page to load. Once loaded, the first thing you'll need to do is select the category that the product will be listed on in eBay. If you know the categories well enough, you can search by keyword here. Otherwise, you can browse the categories by clicking Search from Root here. To search by keyword, enter your keyword here. Any matching eBay categories will be shown in a list below. Select the category you wish to list to. To search from Root, click here and select the Level 1 category. Then repeat this for all subcategories. Once the category is selected, click Save Selected Node. Now we will work down the listing editor. First, the product variations are all shown here, and you can select between these by clicking on them. This will be needed if you need to add or edit variation specific information. If you're only listing a single product, then this will not be shown. The listing type will default to fixed price item and the duration to good till cancelled. You can change this to an auction listing here if needed, and select the number of days the auction should be held for. If needed, we can also set the listing to private here. The listing title will be shown here and will be auto-filled from the range name. This can be changed here if needed and can be a max length of 80 characters. The description will also be auto-filled from the product description on the product page. We can click Edit here to edit the description in a text editor. You can add formatting here, such as bold text or bullet points. You can also edit the description here in HTML if needed. Click here on Copy from Inventory to overwrite the description from the description on the product in your CCP. Click Copy from Other Channel if this product or range of products is listed on another channel and you would like to copy the description from that listing. Once you're happy, click Save. We can add a listing image here. This would be the image used on the overall listing for eBay and would switch to the variation image once the variation has been selected from a drop-down. In this instance, we have a black cushion, a beige cushion, and a white cushion. Each variation has the image of that colour, so the listing image we will upload will show all three colours together in one image. You don't have to add a listing image. If you don't upload one, the first image from the first variation will be used automatically. Under this, we can set whether the listing or all listings will use the Gallery Plus feature on eBay. This will be set to No by default. Next, we can set whether the listing will use the Best Offer feature. This is set to No by default, but if set to Yes, we can then set the listing to auto-accept offers over a certain amount and auto-decline offers under a certain amount. Anything in between these would need to be manually accepted or rejected directly on eBay. If you donate any of your profits to charity, you must enter the charity ID and the percentage you will donate. Otherwise, leave this blank. You can set a discount price on the listing, but only if this feature is activated on your eBay account. This is set to no by default, but if you have this feature on your eBay account, you can set this to yes. We can then select which variations the discount is applied to. Then we can set the sale price here, and then set if the item was already advertised on eBay or an external site at the original price. Then click Save Changes. The variation information will display the price and VAT rate set when we created the listing, as well as the SKU and barcode of the variation if applicable. The variation images will show any images for this specific variation. If you have more than one image for each variation, you can change the order or remove any images here. Each variation will have its own specific variation images. Images added here will not be added to the backend product in CCP and will only be shown for this specific listing. Then we have the category that we selected at the beginning. You can add a secondary category here by clicking on the pencil, however, eBay will charge you for this. If you have an eBay store, you will need to set at least one category in your eBay store to add the product to. You can add a secondary category here as well. This is done the same way as adding the main category, but will only show your custom eBay store categories. Next, we can set the item condition. This will default to new, but if needed can be changed from the dropdown. Next, we have the options to set the dropdown for the listing. This will be automatically ticked if one of your product options for this range is set to show as dropdown. For this listing, we have colour set to show as dropdown on the product range, so this is already ticked here as a dropdown. If you don't have an option set to show as dropdown, you'll need to tick the right option here to set the dropdown for the listing. If you're listing a single variation, you don't need to do this as no dropdown is needed. You can select multiple dropdowns if needed. For instance, if your products come in different colours and sizes. You can also select which option will set the image switch on eBay. Again, this is only needed when listing multiple variations and sets when the image changes on the listing. We will select colour again, as this is the difference between our variations. Next are the options for this listing. These are auto-filled with any information you've already set as option values for these products. These are then added to the item specifics on the listing on eBay. Depending on the category that you're listing to, there may be certain compulsory product options needed on a listing. This will be shown here under compulsory options. As we can see here, for this category, the compulsory options are brand and type. As these options and values have already been set against the products in CCP, this information has been auto-filled. If this has not already been auto-filled, or the value is incorrect, we can click the pencil icon here to change the value. On the left-hand side here, we have any other existing option values for this option which may be set on other products. If one of these is correct for this variation, you can tick the box to assign this value to the product. Then select which variations this applies to, or click Select All if it applies to all of them. We can click Edit here to change the value if needed. Or click Create New Value if the option is not in the left-hand list to create a new one. We then click here to either type it in or select from a predetermined list. Next, we have the recommended options. This will show anything which is recommended but not compulsory to list to this category. Then we have other options. This will be populated with any other options and values which are set on the product in CCP. If there are options here you do not want to push to eBay, we can remove these for the listing by clicking the bin icon here. If there are options here which will never be used for eBay listings, these can be excluded from the product options page. If you use an eBay listing template, This should have been sent to your account manager and have been uploaded here. You can have several templates if needed, and these are then selected from the drop down here. Once selected, this will apply the listing template to the listing's description. Finally, we have the shipping options for the listing. Here we can select what shipping options will be set on this listing. Royal Mail second class with no charge will be set by default. To edit these shipping options or add any new ones, we can click Edit Shipping Services here. This will then show a list of services which you've already set up, and you can select any of these or edit them as needed. To add a new service, click Add New Service. You can then give your service a name. This is entirely for your purposes. Select whether it is national or international, and then select from a list of eBay services here. We can then set the first item cost and any extra item costs here. Clicking Save Changes will then add this to the list here. Click Save Changes when you've selected the correct shipping. Alternatively, if you use business policies on eBay, then click this toggle switch here and then click Import from eBay. Once these have been imported, you can select the shipping, payment, and returns policies, and then click Save. You cannot edit these policies from here. If you need to edit these, this will need to be done directly on eBay. We've now made it all the way to the bottom of the listing editor. We will now click Add Listing. Once added, it will tell you here your listing has been submitted along with a cost, and the grey box at the top will change to a green box with a success message. This item is now listed on eBay. If for any reason there is something that eBay does not like about the listing information, the box may change to a red box and say error. If this is the case, there will be a message here stating why the listing has been rejected. You can then alter the information and resubmit the listing. This concludes this training course. Please complete the tasks below before moving on to the next course.